All right, let's make some plum jelly. If you prefer plum jam, I also have a video on making plum jam, but this one is actually gonna be the jelly. And a disclaimer, I'm gonna use sugar, I'm gonna use pectin. So if you are not a sugar lover or not a pectin fan, you might wanna find a different video because this one's gonna have a lot of sugar and a lot of pectin. All right, let's get started. Okay, you're gonna need 5 pounds of plums. 5 pounds is 80 ounces. So my measuring bowl here goes to 64 ounces, so I'm gonna need this full plus a little bit more. So let's get to chopping. All right, when you're chopping your plums, they have a seed in the middle. It's also called a pit, and you want to take that out. So the way I do it is I just go around the whole plum like this. I hope you can see it good. And then there's your pit, there's your seed. You're gonna just kind of core that out and put it and toss it. You're not gonna use it. And then chop like normal. I'm gonna try to chop these up pretty small. I may even put them in a blender a little bit. Haven't really decided yet. It's not necessary, but I'm gonna make them pretty good and small. Another 16 ounces. All right, there's my other 16 ounces of chopped plums, and that's my first 64 ounces. I'm gonna add these all to the stock pot, and I'm gonna add 1 1/2 cups of water. All right. Now you want to bring this to a boil. So I'm gonna turn my oven to high, get the lid on this, and bring it to a boil. Okay, so this is at a good boil now, and now I'm just gonna recover it, and I'm gonna leave it on like a medium simmer for 10 minutes. Sorry it's so steamy, but there's really no way to get that out the camera. Okay, my timer just beeped, so these have been simmering for 10 minutes now. I'm going to turn the heat off. Now you want to transfer all of this, the liquid and the plums, all of it, into a cheesecloth. What I've got is I've got a pot on the bottom, and then I've got a strainer here in the middle, and I have a deep cheesecloth. And what you want to do, I can't do it the whole video at the same time, is you want to pour all of your plums and your juice into here, and you're going to let all of the liquid seep through. Just in case this is your first time to make jelly and you're not sure what a cheesecloth is, this is what cheesecloth looks like when you buy it from Walmart or Target or anywhere else you buy your canning supply stuff at. They were cheap. I think it was $4 for 4 square yards. So that's what cheesecloth is. right, now let that just sit there for a few minutes and do its thing. Okay, after you've let it sit here for a minute and it's dripped out a lot on its own, you can lightly mash on it, like, you know, you're not making potatoes here. You just give it a little bit of push, and if you watch, you'll see that liquid come out. You just want to make sure it drains into the bottom, because that's what you're going to use for your jelly, is all that liquid. Just make sure you're getting it. Make sure it's running into your bucket. Okay, once you have all your juice drained out, you want to measure it and see how much you ended up with. So let's see what we got here. All right, looks like we got about 3 cups. So I'm actually needing 5.5 cups of prepared juice. And you can add up to 1/2 cup of water to get there, but I certainly can't add 2.5 cups of water. So I'm gonna have to cut up some more plums and boil some more. Okay, round 2. Let's hope this made enough juice this time. Oh, success. That will do, that will do. Let me just say, if that happens to you, to where when you put your plums through the cheesecloth and you don't come up with 5.5 cups of liquid, it's not because the recipe is wrong. Just some plums are going to produce more than others. Some will be juicier than others. So if it happens to you, do what I just did. I just added 40 more ounces of chopped plums into the stock pot with a cup of water and boiled some more. Added the liquid together. Easy fix. Don't sweat it. It's not that big of a deal. It's easy to fix. So hopefully whenever you do yours, the first time you chop your plums and you boil them, you'll have your 5.5 ounces of liquid right away. If not, you know what to do. There you go. All right, so now that we have our 5 cups of plum juice, we're gonna pour it into a stock pot. And when you're doing your juice, if you come up with 5 cups, you can add up to 1/2 cup of water to make sure you get the exact 5.5 that you need. But don't add any more than 1/2 cup of water. Right. Next, I'm gonna add 1/2 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. This is optional. You can leave this out. If you hate cinnamon, you can leave it out. I find it gives it a nice little added flavor, but you do not have to put the cinnamon. I'm also gonna put a few squirts of lemon juice. And 1/2 teaspoon of butter. This is just gonna help with, when you start boiling it, it kind of gets foamy on top. The butter will just help cut that foam out for you. All right, now we're gonna bring this up to a boil. So I'm gonna turn my oven to high. All right, while we're waiting for it to come to a boil, we're gonna add our packet of Sure Gel, or Pectin. And this is the kind that I'm using. I use the original because I'm not doing a low sugar recipe. So just give that a quick stir and bring it to a boil. While you're waiting on this to come to a boil, you should be stirring it pretty constantly. And a full boil means it doesn't stop bubbling when you stir. You know, sometimes when things start boiling, you give it a stir and it'll calm down. You want it a full bowl to where the bubbles don't stop when you stir. Kind of like what we're getting right now. See, it's still just a bubbling. All right, time to get the sugar. All right, look at this bowl, guys. See, I'm stirring, the bubbles don't go away. Now you're gonna wanna add 6.5 cups of white sugar. 6.5 cups of white sugar. Don't worry about that clump because it's gonna dissolve as it cooks. Now see, when I added the sugar, my boil went away. So now we wanna bring it back up to a bowl. Another rolling bowl. Okay, when it gets back up to a rolling bowl like this, you want to set your timer for 1 minute. And you want to boil it just like this for 1 minute. This is what's really cooking all that sugar and stuff together, making sure it gels up nicely and sets nicely for you. All right, our 1 minute is up. And it's time to turn the heat off and get this jelly ladled into our jars. I already have my jars over here pre-sterilized. I've already got my ladle pre-sterilized. So let's get started. To check your headspace and make sure you're within a 1/4 inch of the rim there. You can also use this end of your measuring tool to just kind of poke around here and make any air bubbles come to the top. Okay, before you put your pre-sterilized lid on, you want to, this is just some white vinegar here, you want to wipe around the top with a clean paper towel or towel and just make sure that there's nothing on there that would make you not get a good seal. So just wipe around it, make sure it's clean, and then pop your sterilized lid right there. Put your ring on it. You just want it finger tight. You don't want it super tight because it's going to get tighter when it's in the water bath can. Alright, I'm going to finish filling these jars. Before I get any hate mail about this, this is a jar I sterilized and I'm reusing, but it's going to go in the refrigerator. I'm not going to store this in the pantry, so don't do this for pantry storage. For pantry storage, you need a brand new lid. You can reuse the ring, but you need a brand new lid like this part. But this one that I did is going in the refrigerator, so nobody have a panic attack. It's okay. And actually, since it's going in the fridge, I don't have to water bath can it, but just as a precaution, I'm going to. You see, I got 4 full jars from these. This is pint-sized jars. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to process it for 5 minutes. For jelly, you only need to process it for 5 minutes. For jam, you would go for 10 minutes. But this is jelly, so 5 minutes in the canner. All right, it's been 5 minutes. Ooh, they're already starting to pop. You hear them sealing? Put them on a towel or a cooling rack. Don't put them straight onto your counter. Ooh, wow. I don't know if y'all heard that pop on the video, but these are already starting to seal, which is great. That's what you want to have happen.